My name is Arya Bhatta and I come from Calcutta, West Bengal. So I've secured 954 out of 1000 in CUET UG 2026 with a 100 percentile in economics. So I've scored 249 out of 250. So it got normalized to 249.5 something. So that is the maximum marks that anybody has scored. So that is the 100th percentile. So when it comes to my strategy about economics, so the first thing that you need to do is you start attempting mocks one after the other. So I started attempting mocks around the beginning of April, and this went on for around 20 days. And by the 20th day, I'd attempted around 25 to 30 mocks. So by that time, I knew what were my strengths and what was my weakness. Personally, macroeconomics has always been a strength for me, but later on, I realized that the aspects of macroeconomics which were coming directly from NCRT, those were my weaknesses. ID, it is perfectly normal because it is wholly based on your NCRT preparation. On the other hand, when it comes to microeconomics, again, Sandeep Garg is good as an explanatory resource, but when it comes to hardcore preparation, you need to do it from NCRT micro. So once I had listed all of my strengths and weaknesses, what I essentially did was I went back to the books. So I revised macro and micro, both of them about twice or thrice from the NCRT books, and not everything is worth remembering or retaining. So after a while, you start to understand what to say, what to read, and what not to read, and then you begin revising that way, and then you again start attempting mocks. And also the most important thing that you must do is attempt PYQs. And of course, CUET Mocks has done me a great service because in my strategy, I have attempted more of PYQs than mocks. As for my other subjects, again, I follow the same strategy. I attempted mocks and PYQs first. I located my problem areas. Since I'm a humanities student, I'll focus on history and pol science here. In history and pol science, the thing is, when you're preparing for boards, you're preparing for 8 markers or 6 markers. So what you often learn is huge paragraphs, and you don't pay much attention to either the timelines or the source boxes. My raw score in both places was 244 in history and pol science. And they got normalized to, in pol science, it got normalized to 244.5, and in history, it was 235. So those were the major subjects. And as for English, you need to practice, practice, and practice. Solve all PYQs. That is the only thing I can recommend. So the first thing that I noticed was people were mainly focusing on reading NCRT without attempting mocks. So the first thing that I would recommend is do mocks first, understand what CUET wants from you, and then you go back to that. The second mistake that I see people making is, again, not reading enough. With CUET, you need to know each and every corner of NCRT. So from the page at the beginning to the page at the end, even the glossary, for example, and the timelines, you need to know each and every word that is there. So that is the second thing. And the third thing is people stop practicing. So after they solve about 5 or 10 or 12 mocks, people say, okay, I'm done with mocks. I know the pattern and now I'll get back to reading. So even that is not a strategy. After you have done 10, 20 mocks, you get back to your books, you do your revision, you do your reading, but then you have to get back to mocks. Otherwise, it won't service you well. And I'll give a fourth one from my side as well. Sleep well before CUET. You can't go there with, a 2 or 3 hour nap. You require absolute focus when you reach that particular building there. In this case, do a bit of rote learning, learn your paragraphs, learn your essays well. And then finally, when you need to jump to CUET, it won't be a big hassle. Because you'll know your basic facts, you'll know what comes after what, and then you'll just need to do focused preparation when it comes to your timelines, your small boxes, or the additional concepts that CUET has in store for you. Nothing else. Only thing I could make up I could enhance my preparation in economics and my confidence in the subject was by reading and practicing. Nothing else. Because the moment you cross that 200 mark, the moment you cross the 220 mark, then you cross the 230 mark, you start understanding that, okay, my preparation is going in the right direction. I'm reading all the right texts. I'm retaining all the right pieces of information. Also keep notes in your book. Some people, they had made formula sheets and all of that. I did not prefer that. My NCRT book itself was a mess. So in the side, I had made all of my formulas, all of those short notes, all of those keywords that I wanted to understand, revise from those and also from your book so that you have both the details and the things side by side. That is the only thing I'll say now. When it comes to mocks, because mocks don't tell you exactly what, this is a very big misconception that I've seen. Mocks don't tell you which questions are going to come. Mocks tell you questions from where and what sort are going to come. So that is what people should focus on at this point. CUET Mocks is complete in your CUET preparation. That is all I'd like to say. It's complete. It will give you everything you need.